Good morning guys, it's the 1st of April and it's Thursday 2021 and I'm on leave for 7 days. So I've just came up to the allotment. I've just been and got some more wood to finish off the polytunnel stroke greenhouse, and I just thought I would show you this before we make a start. I'll just spin the camera around and let you have a look. Right guys, so this is the path coming up from right down the bottom as you come off the estate onto this path, and it's pretty bad down there as well, but as you can see, this is just a dumping ground for fly tippers. They just really don't give a monkey's. I've got to give you a quick look around here. Look at this. We've got bedsteads, bed frames, plastic bags, bottles, plastic, all over the place. The entire path is littered with other people's rubbish. This is absolutely ludicrous. Fences, bath panels, bits of timber, which I might salvage actually. Hey, look at this. Beer cans just dropped through underneath in plastic carrier bags, and then the bags bust and they're all over the place. More bedsteads. Trees that's been cut down just through in here. Wood. More bits of fencing. Old cabinets. Televisions. Concrete boulders. More concrete boulders. Plastic forever. Plastic bottles. Bits of wood. Offcuts of trees, plant pots, a bit more bedsteads, part of a sofa. It's an absolute eyesore. Not to mention, when I came up, I didn't actually see it. There was a piece of wood throughout here on the path, and I actually reversed over it. I thought I'd damaged the car coming up. But as you can see, it's just a tipping ground, free for all. Absolutely ludicrous. In fact, I tell a lie, here's that piece of wood I run over, it's still there. And hit it with the side of the car before I realised. And this is just last night's littering. Somebody's broke a unit up and dumped that. A bit of lino off cut or something. Absolutely ludicrous. They just don't give a monkey's. The council have been up and cleared it a couple of times, and every time they do, they come back and do this again, look. Carpets, wood, old bits of plywood, buckets, plastic crates, cushions off sofas, another great big piece of carpet. And it just goes on and on all the way up here. Another plastic bucket in the background there, and loads of plastic. A fridge, or a washing machine. Something to that effect. Excuse me. Bottles, glass bottles, and kids play down here as well on occasions. Another plastic bag. And as you can see, I've got another load of wood. I've just been for another load of wood at the DIY store, and the corrugated sheeting. They didn't have the 3-inch stuff that I wanted. So I could only get the mini profile one. And I've got some load of lats for to fix the plastic down with. So that's me spent up again. Another big fridge freezer, and it just goes on and on and on all the way up this path, guys. Right down the side of my fence. Ludicrous, guys, ludicrous. Morning, guys. Welcome back to Alan's Allotment. As you can see, I'm in the shed and I'm just having a cup of coffee. Yeah, I just thought I'd give you that bit of footage on the path on the way up. Absolutely ludicrous. Every single day you come up to something new being dumped. It's absolutely crazy. To be perfectly honest, it's in such a remote location, there's probably no way putting cameras up to catch people either. So they'll just continue doing this. Years and years and years ago, when I was a lad and I used to come up here, you never had anything like this. And it's all because they're too lazy to take it to the tip or pay someone else to take it for them. So they think, I know, the grass will be growing shortly and the brambles, we'll go and throw it in there and that'll hide it. And that's what they do. And some of them can't even be bothered to put it in the bank. They just drop it on the bit of a path that's down there. And needless to say, it's just a hazard for animals and children. Absolute pain in the backside it is. So I'm off for 7 days. Today is a bit overcast and dull and a bit cool, but I'm going to try and do another little bit on the greenhouse today, and all those beds ready to accept the seeds that's growing in the greenhouse, which are actually doing quite well. I've just been in and checked on everything. The lettuces I put in the bed in the polytunnel, they've all took, and they're looking really healthy and well. The other lettuces that's still in the tray after a good watering have come back again. So I really do need to get a couple of those beds sorted out over there if I can, because very shortly they'll need to be transplanted out. But for now they're still okay. It's not as urgent a job as I first thought. So I want to try and get on and get that polytunnel stroke treehouse a bit further down the line with that. I've just been in the stock loft and rung a couple more youngsters. Some really nice colours in there. I believe there is at least one almond on the nest, and the other one I think is going to be a check, which, as I said, we're short on checks anyways, dark checks and light checks. We only have the two left, the dark check hen and the light check hen. So we'll keep one or two of those back, I think, if nobody else wants them. Under the young almond cock that's carrying brown, I'm really surprised. We've got a brown, what looks to be a brown white flight, or it might even be a dark chocolatey almond, I don't know yet. But it's feathered up and I can see the colours, but he was still sitting over them. So I didn't disturb him too much, but that's at least one colour under him. The black hen has laid its first egg again, since we threw the infertile eggs out. The milkies still haven't laid yet. I've just rung the youngster under the brown barless and blue barless. I was going to ring the youngster off the brown laced satinette hen paired to the white toy stencil Lebanon. But because the satinettes have feather feet and they have rather thick legs, I thought twice about it and I decided, because I don't know, I'll have to wait and see how this one youngster turns out first. Because if it turns out to be thick-legged and we put a ring on it, we might end up having to cut the ring back off anyway. So I've decided not to ring this one, because it'll be kept for stock anyways. Because it's a first cross with the satinettes, with the short beaks to the long beaks. But they're both toy or frill stencil, so I'm hoping at least it's a toy or frill stencil. It just appears to be black at the moment, but there's plenty of time for it to grow yet. But we didn't put a ring on that one purposely until we see whether it ends up with thick legs or not. Yeah, everything's coming along tickety-boo. The only ones I haven't rung yet, I've just rung the toy stencil white check cock and the black hen that went down on their second eggs, and both of them did hatch, and I've just rang both of those. The birds are a little bit on the small side, but those birds have big feet, and the rings hopefully will stay on. I'll check them again later this evening and see if they're still on. and if they stay on today then they should still be on tomorrow, but we'll check them again tomorrow. I haven't rung the ones off the ice bars stroke barless yet. There's still a little bit on the small side, but predominantly that's the only two, and the one off the satinette hen that haven't got rings on yet. But all the other ones are growing really well and really nice. I'm really pleased with the progress. Babbled on long enough, guys. Go and have the cup of coffee, and then I'm going to make a start over there in the growing area. I'm not going to kill myself today. I'm going to do a little bit, and it'll be a little bit more. I've got 7 days to try and get this finished off. However, the weather will probably be against us. I've only got today and tomorrow that I know should be okay weather-wise. So if I can get the roof on and get the plastic on and the doors on that over the next 2 days, that'll do me. Stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you later. Right guys, 12:30 now. Just been cracking on. I haven't been videoing this, but as you can see, our tree has took a second transplant, and it's still positively in leaf and still blooming. So it's obviously survived. Not only that, our rhubarb's already started to grow as well, look. We never did get those mulched off and some cow manure around them, but we will. Perhaps tomorrow. I've just been cracking on with the greenhouse, guys, so I'll give you a little look now. And as you can see, I've got the back plastic on at the back. So what I've done since I came over here is we've put these extra roof joists in to give it extra strength, and then the cross ones so that when we put our plastic sheets on we can pin it at the front, back and the middle. So I've just started putting the plastic on the back now, guys. This is a really thick tarpaulin, this, but with a capital B. As you can see, it's that good and that thick you can't see through it at all. It's really thick. It will still let light in, but it's not designed for greenhouses, polytunnels, this one, guys, because it's more of like a covering things over on a building site, but hence the reason why it was so expensive. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to do the back, that little window there and that little window there in this, and this here, but that's getting cut out because that's going to be either a vent or a window. I haven't made my mind up yet. But the front is going to get that nice thick clear plastic that I bought across the front, because this is where the sun comes up. It comes round here, and as you can see, without trying not to blind you, this is where the sun is at the moment. So the sun comes up and we get it all over here till late evening before it drops down behind those trees. So this is where the sun's going to come, guys. So we've decided we're going to put clear plastic on this side, and that's our front, as you will, facing the sun more or less most of the day. We'll get it from about here right round. So that's what I've decided I'm going to do, guys. I'm going for a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to come back and get cracking on, because the weather's not too clever. Thankfully it's staying dry and the wind isn't too bad, and it's allowing me to get cracking, guys. I'll see you later. Right guys, I decided I'll finish this off before a cuppa. So I've got this corner as well, but I've decided that's going to be clear plastic as well, so we catch more of the sun from right over here then and all the way around. So this clear plastic will come along here and down that side, and we'll also have the doors with clear plastic as well. So yeah, cracking jobbed. That's the back, and 1.5 sides done. All the new roof trusses put in, and I've still got all of this left off just one tarpaulin. Numerous folds on it, guys, as you can see. I would think there's as much again on there as what I've already used here, guys. Just going for a cup of coffee, and I'll see you shortly. That's lovely. As you can see, guys, I'm drinking coffee again, and I really need it. It's now 1:10 in the afternoon. I came up, I was up at 5 o'clock again this morning. Routine for work. So I was up wide awake at 5 o'clock and just sitting downstairs. I waited for the hardware store to open so I could go and get that wood. So by the time I got the wood, got it all loaded into the car and the plastic sheet and all the rest of it, and got up here, it was probably 10 o'clock, 10:15 or something like that. Ken had already fed and watered all the birds, so they were all done. I had a quick look in on the youngsters, as you know, put the rings on, checked in the polytunnel, checked the plants were okay, they're doing fine. Had the cup of coffee, and then we went over there. So it was about 10:30 when I made a start, maybe a little later, and it's now 1:10. So a couple of hours and good progress. I've actually got further on than I thought I would. I thought it was going to take me forever to do those roof beams, the cross members on the roof. It went a bit better than I planned, so that's a bonus. Then I thought I'll do the back, then I done the side, then I done that little window. And we're getting there, that's the good thing. Now that I've got as far as I have, my back is going mental with stretching up and reaching and bending down, and my back's going absolutely mental, but I'm determined to go and try and get at least the plastic down the rest of the front and the other window and get the roof on, if I can. And know me, I'll probably end up making at least a makeshift door of some description, if not make the door, and get that fitted into place as well, guys. I really am gagging for this cup of coffee, so I'm going to have this and then I'm just going to crack on. I'll see you later. Right, guys, it's 3:50 in the evening now. Excuse me. On a positive note, we're done. Well, not quite. We've got the windows in, and these 3x2s down here, as you'll see, they span both the top frame and the pallets, with 3 or 4 screws into the pallet and 3 or 4 screws into this top frame. And that's because there's only screws down into the blocks for this entire frame. And the strength that that has given, there's one at each end, and the strength that that has given is unreal, guys. Yes, expensive timber, but absolutely unreal. I can swing on that now, guys. So, all we've got left to do is our door, and I don't know if I've got the energy to finish that today. So what I might just do, I've got a couple of I bought more sheets than I needed purposely, because these ones here, these are only 6 foot, these ones, but these are going to be for the door, but I bought a couple of extras. So what I'm probably going to do is just screw with them across the door like that and stack them up just to seal it for tonight in case we get any wind up. Yeah, just to try and keep the wind out in case we do get it. We're not forecast it, but you never know, guys. So better to be safe than sorry. We'll just put some of that corrugated sheet temporarily screwed up on here, just for to keep it right. And as you can see, all our sheets are on all round here. Yes, we've still got ventilation to put in, plenty of time for that. I can come up and do that in a leisurely job, make an opening window or something that falls back to that post like we said, and then put some screeding on this side, and so that the window opens from that side. We do, of course, and I won't aim you at the sun. We're still getting an airflow through these. However, they're very, very small and minute, but we will get some form of airflow through there. But as you can see, without trying to blind you, the sun, this is where all the sun is now, guys. and the sun is basically, it's straight in front of me now. So this back wall is going to get all the sunshine, and that's where the trees, or most of the trees, will go. But it's worked out rather well because it hides, all right, it hides the view I suppose as well, but we've still got our view, guys, from over there. But yeah, it's worked out quite well. Like a solid back wall, if you will. And we've done the same with that one, just because we needed to use that tarpaulin as well. We still haven't used it all. And this as well. So it will provide some shade, but it'll be more or less in the morning. But we're going to make the doors, the door, we're going to make, I was toying with making it 2, but then it's double hinges, and 2 bars, one at top and bottom, and then another one for the middle. So I thought, no, we'll make 1 door, 1 lock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the doors out of this. So we'll make a framing, and then we'll put these sheets on here, guys. And again, then we'll get a little bit of a draft coming up from underneath as well, just as more ventilation. I'm maybe even going to do something slightly different with the door. So that's something to wait and see. I'm not going to get it finished tonight. Purely and simply because of what I want to do with the door. I'm going to make it have a vent in. So you'll just have to wait and see how that one pans out tomorrow. I've really had enough. I've got way more done than I could have ever have hoped, and I'm a happy chappy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of something screwed up on here, just in case we do get any gales, and then I'll give you a final roundup in the shed, guys. Right, guys, I've got it roughly patched up, and probably a bit stronger than it was going to be. So I found a bit of old 3/4 ply, and we've screwed that into the frame just temporarily. We haven't put a great big load of screws in, but it's a lot stronger, of course. And if the gales do get up, which is highly unlikely, it's not forecast. In fact, the weather's picked up now. And another piece of board there screwed in, and then what I've done is I've just temporarily tacked this plastic sheet over the top, being careful just to use the edges where we're going to put screws anyways, so that I'm not filling that full of holes, and we can reuse that sheet, no problem. And it just keep the wind out, guys, if it does get up, and it'll keep the rain out as well if we happen to get any rain tonight. I'm absolutely shattered. It's 5:15. I'm going for a cup of coffee, and then I'm going home. Right, guys, final roundup. It's now 5:30 in the evening. Still plenty of daylight because the clocks have gone forward again now. I am absolutely wiped out. Who was I kidding this morning when I came up and I thought, I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm just going to potter. The problem is once you start to build a structure, even though the forecast or the weatherman give us some half decent weather for tomorrow, it doesn't mean it will be. And once you start to put the walls up and the roof on, if you leave the door exposed, or if you just put one wall up or just the roof up, and the winds were to get up, you're going to lose all your work and the money that you've spent doing it. So I decided I'd just crack on, guys. I didn't get the doors done. I didn't think I would. But at least I've got it sealed up, if you will, for now. 1, it'll keep the rain out. 2, it'll keep the wind out for now, if it should get up. It maybe won't, but we're not taking a gamble. Right, I've just been in and give the stock birds their second feed to feed the youngsters. Everything seems to be fine in there. If it's your first time here, guys, think about hitting the subscribe button and then the little bell icon on the right. Select all, and that'll alert you every time I put up a new video. Excuse me. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks to everybody who watches and comments. Hope you're still enjoying the content. Please stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.